Hey everyone, so today I wanted to rebuild my infinite lava system using bees. The reason I'm generating so much lava is because if you run it through Greg Tech Centrifuges, you can get tin, copper, and tungsten and Electrum out of it. So it's a really great resource just to kind of have running continuously. And one thing I wanted to do was I wanted to have this run off of bees because I didn't want to go steal a whole bunch of lava from the nether and kind of wreck it. Um, so I set up this system. What I have are some demonic bees, which then their simmering combs get centrifuged and then put into a squeezer where it's mixed with sand and then pumped into a buffer tank and then centrifuged and tesseract back to my sorting system. So I want to rebuild this, and I'm going to integrate it into my existing storage system, which is over here, where I have my automated frame machine, which is generating um, impregnated frames for me and automatically inserting them into alvearies upstairs, and then it's set up so that I get a 600% production boost. So I only need a couple of the hell bees generating the combs, and I get tons and tons and tons of phosphorus. I've got 470 stacks there, and another 552 stacks. And so I want to start using this. And what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be integrating that old lava generating system into my new system. So I'm going to be adding another sorting system section here. And if you want to see how this works, check out my additional B systems video. If you want to see my frame production, you can check out that video. And if we go over here, I have the resources laid out. So this is to add to my item distribution system. I have a router with an ejector upgrade, a machine filter upgrade, and an item filter upgrade. An iron buffer chest with some buffer stone bricks, an emerald transport pipe, an autarkic iron AND gate, and an item tesseract. And then those items will be sent come out of the tesseract, and then go through a buffer and a sorting machine, which has blue alloy wire and a thermal pile that has 4 water sources and a lava bucket and a battery. And what the sorting machine will do is pull the correct recipe and stick it into the squeezer, so I don't have a overflow like this, just like I have in my automated scented paneling production and my fusion reactor. So if you want to see those systems, automated scented paneling production and fueling of the fusion reactor with a priority fuel management system, check out those videos. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tear this apart, and then I will come back and show you how I put this together. Alright, see you in a sec. Alright, so I'm back. I've cleaned all this stuff out over here. And first things first, I'm going to set up the item distribution. So I'm going to need my router, the upgrades, and all this stuff over here. So, first things first, we'll throw down the router, and we will give it its upgrades. And then I'm going to put the chest, and remember this color, it's blue. So what we need to do is, I need to grab what I want to pull out. Going to pull out some phosphorus. And so it needs to extract, where did that come from? That came from right here. That's not good. I have to fix that. Where did you go? Oh no. Crap. There they are. Okay. Get my stone back. Yeah, so you have to be really careful with these routers, because if you're not paying attention, then they will mess up pretty quick. Okay, so I want to extract only phosphorus, so I won't have that problem again. I want to extract only from barrels, and I want to eject to the blue side. Blue, so that's north. And so put this there, and then I want it to keep 9 slots full. So I'm going to put this buffer in here, so it will only fill up the top slots. Yeah, you have to be careful with routers when you're setting them up like that in pre-existing systems, because they can hiccup. And so then extract, and I need to, because they're barrels, I need to extract from the bottom. There. So now it's filling up my buffer chest. So then next I need to put down a emerald pipe, and the reason for that is so that it will only pull out phosphorus and it won't pull out the buffer stone. And then I need a autarkic iron and gate, and this guy is set to pipe empty and space in inventory. So pipe empty and space in inventory gives me pulsars, which I'll turn on in a second. And then I'll put down this tesseract, and I need to give him a new name and number. 18, 19. Alright, so you're going to be 20, and you're going to be phosphorus. PHO. I need to check it. PHOS, PHOR. 20. PHOS, PHOR. Phosphor. Add it to the list and activate it. So now I'm activated on phosphor. And then I'll turn on my energy pulsars, and it will start pulling out the phosphor. But it's going to keep doing this and spitting out items from here, because phosphor on the tesseract doesn't have a place to go yet over there. So in the meantime, I'm going to shut this off and get everything set back up again, and then we should be good. So by setting it up this way, as long as the tesseract, because the tesseract has a small internal buffer inventory, so by setting it up this way, and as long as there's a place for it to go, it actually has an internal inventory that's kind of activated, and it's only activated if it has an exit and an entrance, then this system will work. So I'll come back and turn this on in a minute. So over here, what I'm going to do is I have my squeezer, and let me set up the rest of this. So I'm going to need a tesseract, a buffer, and a sorting machine. So the tesseract, the sorting machine is going to go this way. So it's going to grab from this side and spit into the squeezer. The buffer chest is going to go that way. So these are the input sides. And then I'm going to put the tesseract up here on top, and I'm going to set him to phosphor. And then now you can see it's starting to fill up. And so just to reiterate, that buffer chests have 5 internal independent inventories that correspond to 5 of their input faces. So all of the sides have a different slot, and then there's the one output face. So by doing it this way, I can buffer sand from my grinder system and phosphor from my B system together, so that the sorting machine will always be able to pull from it. Now I need to set up the power for the sorting machine, and to do that, since I'm underground, I'm going to be using a thermopile and with water and lava. And so I need to dig down here and get underneath my tesseract, or my sorting machine. So I'm going to put a battery box there, just to buffer the power. And then I'm going to come over here, and let's see, how do I want to do this? I'm going to dig out here like that, and then down. And then I'm going to put a dirt back here temporarily. And then I'm going to put down my lava. And then I'll put the thermopile on top of it. Oops, I'm stuck. And then over here, put you. Okay. So then on this side, I'll put water, 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 and water. So what a thermopile needs is a difference in temperature. So you have lava on one side directly adjacent, and then water on the other sides directly adjacent, and it gives you a temperature differential from which the thermopile is able to generate its power. So now I'll fill all this back in, except for this spot right here because I need to run the wire. And so these wires need to actually be touching, because if you look at them, they have the blue side here where it's kind of the sheathing that goes around the internal wire. The end of the wire actually needs to be physically touching a face like this, and in that way it will transfer energy. You can't just set it on top. So now my battery box is filling back up. My sorting machine has power, and so I'll fill this hole back in again. Yep. And I can put a cover here later if I want to. And then, so now I have power for my sorting machine. I have my phosphor coming in, and next I need to set up the sand generation. And so I'm going to be reusing the same equipment that I had from the previous one. Let's see. So I need an igneous extruder, a pulverizer, a water and lava capsule bucket, whatever, doesn't matter, some redstone energy conduits, and I'm going to also use a void pipe. And so for this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a pulverizer here, and then I'm going to connect it with power there. And then this guy I'm going to set to eject to the left side, and then shut off the right side over here. And then the bottom, shut it off. The back side is going to be yellow, and then the top is going to be blue. And so over here, I'll put my void pipe. And what the void pipe does is, so when I'm pulverizing cobblestone, there's a chance that I get gravel, and then it'll just void it because I don't want it. So that's there, and then I'm going to put the igneous extruder on top of that. And the igneous extruder, I'm going to shut off all of its sides and back and top, and then I only want it to eject out of the bottom into the pulverizer. And so to get this system going now, I need to add a lava and a water. And now I'm generating cobblestone. The cobblestone is being sent down into the pulverizer, and the pulverizer is putting its sand into the buffer. So then let me go over here and I will turn the phosphorus back on again. And there it goes. It's starting to pull the items out, and you can see it's not spitting on the ground out of the buffer that's in here. And then if we go back over here, I need to set up my recipe for the sorting machine. So I'm going to need, let's see, 1 sand and 2 phosphor? I think it's 2 phosphor. So let's just check. Uses. Yes, 2 phosphor and 1 sand. So in here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set it up to go columns at a time, and it's going to pull out 2 phosphor and 1 sand, and it's going to do them in that order. I'm going to pull out the extra sand here and just throw it in here. And now I can turn this on so that it runs repeatedly. And you can see it's just switching back and forth. Phosphor, sand, phosphor, sand, phosphor, sand. And it's putting the items into the squeezer. Now, my squeezer doesn't have power. So I need to run power to the squeezer. Oops. I just broke my blue trick power line. Let me fix that. Get that fixed. There and there. And so I'll run the power. Out here like this. And get me out of the hole. Come on, get me out. And there we go. Now the squeezer is generating lava. And it will always use up all the resources in the squeezer because the sorting machine is always putting out the correct recipe number of items. And this will just keep filling and keep generating. And so it's going to be running a little slower on the phosphor side at the moment because that's how fast the buffer or the item distribution system goes. And I want it to go slow so that if it backlogs, then the whole system will stop and it won't spit anything on the ground. But once the system gets up to speed, then it should be perfectly sufficient. And so doing it this way, the whole system is backlog safe, and I won't have items spitting everywhere because the Tesseract system over here, with the way that the buffer system is set up with the router, it will never pull out any more items than can fit into this chest. And the way that this gate is set up is that it won't put out items unless there's a place for it to go. And over here, by using factorization machines to generate the sand, once the buffer here fills up, then it won't generate any more sand because this buffer is full. And once this fills up, then it won't generate any more cobble because it's full. And these machines are all smart. So they will monitor themselves and keep themselves in check, and they won't overproduce. And then I don't have to worry about having items getting mixed up or having chests all full of sand and not getting any phosphor or vice versa, because the way the buffer works, in that the sand can only go into this column because the sand is only coming in from this side, and the phosphor can only go into this column because the phosphor is only coming in from the top. And in that way, the sorting machine will always have access to the resources that it needs, and it will just sit here and wait until it gets 2 phosphor, and then it will spit it out. So it'll just sit here and wait until it gets 1 more, and then it goes. So I will always get the correct recipe put into the squeezer machine. And then from there, the lava is buffered through this tank and then sent to centrifuges where you're generating all the other stuff like that I previously mentioned. And I think Nebris did this on a huge industrial scale by using centrifuges with lava from the nether. But I wanted to generate it with bees, and I wanted it to be very small, tight and compact, completely self-sufficient. And yeah. So if you like it, go ahead and use the system in your world. I hope it's useful. If you use it and you make a video, give me a shout out. So I hope this is helpful, a way of using bees to generate infinite lava. So thanks very much. Talk to you later. Bye.